I think that when we speak about self confidence and when we speak about confidence as a whole, there are certain aspects that we leave out. And I really feel like that's why a lot of people don't have self confidence because we're leaving out a key ingredient that actually deals with the actions of another. Welcome to my new subscribers. I appreciate you all. Welcome to those who have been with me since I've started. I appreciate you. And as you know, you are not my follower because you do not need to be led. But I do want to acknowledge something. And this has nothing to do with what I just said. I don't know why I made that transition. That was not smooth. But today is Father's Day. It is Father's Day. I'm recording this on Sunday. So I don't think it'll be uploaded yet. But happy Father's Day to those who are fathers. And let me say this. I know some of us grew up with fathers who were not fathers, or we grew up without a father, or we grew up with men who just decided to, be there because it was like, her father or his father isn't there. I'm going to step up. Let me acknowledge something. Father's Day is so downplayed because the reality is we really do need our fathers. You know what I mean? And I understand that some of us were raised in a household where daddy was not there, or there is this traumatic experience with your father. But when you have a healthy father who understands the dynamic of being a father, who was raised by a father, who understands how to nurture and choose their children every day, they do deserve respect. And I believe that a father isn't just the one who birthed the child. I believe nowadays the definition for me of a father is a man who steps up to the plate to say these children or these relatives are not mine, but as their brother, their uncle, their cousin, their stepdad, I will choose to play the role that has been led upon me to play. You get what I'm saying? I think that fathers, that role model, that energy is so underrated, yet you see the side effects of children without a father and how it impacts them. Definitely with women, it impacts us in such a way that I think a lot of us don't even acknowledge. It impacts us on when we get older, how we identify with men, right? It impacts us on when we get older, what we look at as a healthy relationship. Now, yes, as a woman, our dominant parent would be the mother, right? Because she shows us and she guides us how a woman is supposed to be, how they maneuver throughout the world. But the way a father nurtures their daughter or the way a father nurtures their son is totally different, and it is so powerful because that gives you the energy to go forth. It gives you the power, it gives you the confidence, which we are going to dive into today. So happy Father's Day to all those men who chose to take on the task, the honor, the responsibility of nurturing, loving, caring, fathering, playing, correcting, being mindful of that child whose real father was not able to, did not know how, was removed. Whatever the case is, we acknowledge you and happy Father's Day to you. So I did a episode or a topic on self-confidence. It was when I cut my hair. Self-expression, my bad. And I was speaking about how, when I cut my hair, it really awakened this energy of self-expression. But not did you, because you ain't know, but what it also woke up for me was and is the level of self-confidence that is needed to do things in life. And I want to speak to you about that. So I might do this as like a playlist under the self-expression because this is so important. It's so important. When I cut my hair, I knew why I did it. And I explained in the video, but let me just elaborate just a little bit more. I cut my hair because I felt as though I wasn't taking the proper care with it. I was really doing a lot in a short amount of time because, like I said, my self-expression was exploding all over the place. It was leaking and it didn't have a clear direction, so I wanted to do everything. Once I cut my hair, I realized that my level of confidence in myself grew, and it's still growing. And there's moments where I feel like I'm not as confident, but the overall aspect is I'm seeing how one decision led to another awakening. You get what I'm saying? Now let me speak to you about confidence. When you embrace the journey of self-expression, what you're saying is, I'm confident enough to know that whatever I express, however I choose to express myself to the world and to those around me, I am capable of dealing with what comes with that. I feel as though a lot of people miss and don't really awaken their self-confidence because there's a part of them that believe that they're not equipped or qualified or able or strong enough to be there with themselves if things don't go well. I believe that confidence comes from your parents. And what do I mean by that? I know we love the expression self in front of everything. Self-confidence, self-independent, self-love, all these things. But in order for all that to even become an independent thing, it has to be an interdependent thing, right? Your confidence is instilled by your parents. That is the root chakra, right? It basically lets you know that the environment is safe. You are safe. Whatever happens, it's okay because you have a strong foundation, i.e. your parent, which is going to have your back no matter what. And a lot of us are aiming to build self-confidence, but we didn't get the real energy of interdependent confidence. You get what I'm saying? A lot of us want to self-evaluate and self-heal, okay, but we didn't get the complement or the foundation of healing together. So when you're out and about and you're figuring things out, you don't know where to start because nobody laid the foundation. You get what I'm saying? When I was dealing with my self-confidence, because there's a lot of things that I feel I am called to do. There's a lot of things I feel like I'm led to do and all these things, right? And I think you feel the same. But I realized that even though I knew what I wanted to do and I read up on how to do it, the gas to light the fuel was turned off. It was like my confidence was not there, even though my intent was I'm going to do this, and this, right? Even though my logic was I know that I'm capable, I know I can do it. I started to do root chakra work. The main thing was confidence. I did not have the confidence to follow through. I didn't have the confidence to press forward. I didn't have the confidence to maintain. It was like I knew, but the action behind it was not there. And then I started to get curious, like, why am I not as confident as I know I could be, or I know that I feel, right? I had a conversation with my mother, and my mother shared an experience with me that really stifled her confidence in herself. It also stifles her confidence in her mother, but she may not look at it like that. But when she shared this experience with me, I realized that my mom dealt with self-confidence. She dealt with self-confidence, and then she birthed us without dealing with what needed to be dealt with. So a lot of you are dealing and battling with self-confidence, but it may not be your self-confidence. It might be your parent that raised you not having the will or the confidence in themselves. And then when they birth you, they also birth that energy that was already in them. They kind of brought it through with that canal, with that birth canal, right? They brought it through with that umbilical cord. They brought it through in that bloodstream. So when you say things like, I need to build my self-confidence, yes, you do. But first, I would recommend you look at the past, at people who came before you, just to see, is this really my confidence that I'm battling with, or am I still attached to your lack of self-confidence? Because it's easy to say things that you've never done, but it's harder to display how to do something that you've never done. If your parent dealt with issues of self-confidence, it's kind of hard for them to exude that in their everyday life. Now they can pour life into you. They can tell you you could do it. They can congratulate you and push you. But when it comes to the action, because let's be real, children learn by doing, not by what you say. not by what you say. We were all children at one point in time, and we all watched our parents do something that, even though they said, do as I say and not as I do, we did what they did, and sometimes not as they said. So it's easy for your parent to say, you got it, I believe in you, but you've noticed your parent not achieving their goals. You notice your parent backpedaling on what they would say. They're telling you to be confident in everything that you say, but then when they tell you about stories as an adult, you realize they hold their tongue a lot. And we are our parents' representation, right? We look to them for guidance. And yes, as an adult, we have to become equipped to realize we need to parent ourselves, but even though we have to get to a level where we have to parent ourselves, it helps when you see that a lot of the things that you're battling with is not even all yours. So you can now start to release them onto who they belong to. I realized that my battle of self-confidence is not really my fight. It was her fight that she didn't fight. And now I am taking it on just by influence, just by being birthed. Some of us are dealing with the consequences of our parents just because we were born. It has nothing to do with us. It is not written in our cards, but some of us have to break it so that it is broken. You get what I'm saying? And when I think about self-confidence, when I think about my level of self-expression and how I'm always aiming to learn something, wanting to try this and do this and can't wait to have a deep conversation. When I'm in this state of learning, of searching, of wanting to understand, I realize that this is all ingredients to helping me bake the level of confidence that I need to succeed in life. We all do something for the whole of us becoming who we believe we should become. Whether that's you getting self-help books, whether that's you always having deep intellectual conversations, whether that's you always on a retreat, whether that's you always traveling, whatever it is that is consistent and it makes you feel good. I've noticed that we all have that thing we do just so that we remember, okay, this is the path I'm supposed to be on. When I was doing this self-expression, because I realized that my self-expression was tied to my confidence. Me able to color my hair, get tattoos, get piercings, go out and about and meet new people was me also building my confidence in self, because I had to also realize that it's not my responsibility to tell my parent, hey, I need you to do this, because I didn't have it when I was young or when I needed it. A lot of us are beating up our parents as adults because even though we realize that we have to parent ourselves, we also as adults realize how much we missed out on. And that's why I say you need to separate the voices in your head so you know who's running the show. The adult you knows that you can build your self-confidence. The adult you knows that life can give you the things that it needs, but there is a younger version of you that is still stuck at that level where it did not get. He or she did not receive that outpour of confidence from their parent. He or she did not receive that outpour of belief in all these things that were necessary. So even though you are an adult and you are capable, you still need to pour and remind the child or the teenage you that it's going to be okay. I challenge you to build your self-confidence. I challenge you to do something that you know that you're capable of, but once you get to the action part, it does not follow through. I want you to first breathe in that moment, right? I want you to breathe, and then I want you to ask yourself one question. Is it my feelings? Or is it someone else's? Do I really not believe that I'm confident, or am I holding on to the ideology that my parent had? And if it feels like, okay, these are really your battles, okay, now you know where to start because it started with you, right? So now you can breathe into it. Now you could take a second, you can pause, you can really analyze, okay, is this my reality versus my perception? You get what I'm saying? But if it's your parent, I want you to do one thing and one thing only. Acknowledge, let it go. Let it go. Return it back to sender. If you know that you have confidence in something, but you're just scared and you're like, okay, this fear doesn't make sense. Okay, this is her fear. This is my dad's fear. This is not mine. I give it back. Let it go. Because that's when you realize, okay, I'm starting to develop my own person. I'm starting to realize me and my authenticity and realize that I'm not as stagnant as I think I am. So understand that before we can put the self in front of all these things, self-love, self-independent, self-confidence, self-respect, self-worth, we first have to acknowledge that it was an interdependent process that taught us how to do it on our own. But if you don't have that interdependent process of your parents showing you the way, guiding you, breathing life into you, it's going to be really hard to put that self in front of worth. Okay, if you like this video, do like, subscribe, comment below. It does help the channel. And if you feel like this can help someone else, do share it with someone, because life doesn't have to be hard, y'all. It ain't got to be hard. All right, until next time, peace.